and a very warm welcome to the form on this Wednesday morning, and we've got Rotorua Gallops to look forward to, and you get an in-depth look at that meeting very soon. Let's have a little look at what's on the agenda. We start the show with Stephen Marsh, who identifies his best from his runners at Rotorua, as well as an in-depth look at those other contenders. Then to Matt Cameron, who has a really good book of rides for the meeting. We then get you to Mata Mata and a chat with Andrew Scott. He's got a number of exciting horses to follow heading forward. And then we wrap things up with a chat with our form analyst, Brendan Popperwell. We preview a couple of races with him, plus his best bet. Stephen Marsh, a very warm welcome to the form this morning. Great to have you back with us, and congratulations. It was a Saturday double at Tiaroha. How have both of those horses come through the run, and where are you going to go with Starry Beale and Janessa?
They've actually both come through really well. Starry Beale, it was good to see him back in the winner's circle. He hasn't been there for a little while, but with one in very good dominant fashion. He'll head down to the Manawatu Cup on the 18th. And Janessa, we're just going to play around with her. She looks, she's gone from strength to strength, that mare. She's put her last two wins have been very good. And look, we may give her a quiet little trial or a little outing somewhere, but we just want to get her to that Dunstan final on the 26th. And on Boxing Day, $90,000 special conditions 15. So we've just got to get her there in one piece and happy. And yeah, it looks like a very good race for her.
Let's focus now on Rotorua, of course, tomorrow, and go through your runners on the card there. The day kicks off for you in race number 5 with Like It's Sweet in the maiden 1560. Just 2 starts, well beaten both times, but is stepping up to the 1560 the key?
Yeah, he's both horses in this race are probably starting to look for 2,000 metres, so they're sort of going to use this, nice mile will suit them, and then we'll give them one more run somewhere along the line, and really want to get them to that the listed 2,100 metre race at Ellerslie on the 9th, the Selva. We think they're both nominated for the Derby, and we think they're definitely going to get over a trip. So yeah, they should race very well tomorrow, but I think better when they get over 2,000.
And you mentioned that other horse in the race, that's obviously Calvetto. And I was going to say that you must think a little bit of them with that Derby nomination. And also Calvetto, of course, ran in the Futurity at 2.
He just looks like he's going to stay all day as well. And I thought his last run was a good sort of grinding effort. And yeah, I think, look, if you've got a 3-year-old, the nominations are so early. If you've got a 3-year-old that looks like they can stay, you've sort of got to throw them in the Derby because, it's not till March. And if you're not in, you can't win, obviously.
Race number 6, Leading Man and Queen Sarabi. We'll start with Leading Man. Bit of a jump in distance last time and was only beaten by a small margin. It says 6th on the page, but it was a lot better than it reads.
I reckon his runs have been really good. I think he's a horse that's just going to be dead set looking to get over ground. I think he'd be really well suited to this race. He just ran out of room a little bit late in the piece, the last run. But he'll be stepped up over ground after this as well. Another one sort of heading for a race like the Selva. But yeah, I think he's a nice horse. The penny hasn't quite dropped, but I think there's a fair bit of upside to that horse.
Queen Sarabi is your other one in the race. Resumed in behind Janessa, who of course we spoke about earlier, won on Saturday. Is that quite a good form line we can follow?
Absolutely. Look, she was 1,200 last start, the jump up to the 1,560. Her run was a lot better than what it probably looked as well. I think she's she's drawn out a little bit, but I think she's a sneaky to really improve her form line, especially the step up to the 1,560 looks perfect for her.
Race number 8, you've got Social Distance in the maiden fillies and mares, 1,560. Didn't help the chances last time getting back at that latest outing, but still closed it off pretty well, Stephen.
Didn't mind the way she closed off. Again, the 1,560 is going to be ideal for her. Not easy taking on those older horses, but if she can just get a nice run, she's drawn perfectly in barrier 2 with Danielle on. If she can get a nice run and settle. Again, I thought her run was a pretty good last start, and I think she's going to be a handy filly once she puts it all together.
And coming back to the better tracks, I know you copped a couple of wet tracks earlier in the preparation. Will that help as well?
Absolutely. She really does want a good track. We ran her in that 4-horse field at, I think it was Tauranga, and she nearly sunk in that, the poor girl. But, a good track really suits her, that she can just bounce off.
Race number 9, the rating 65 over the 1230. You've got the 3 starters. We'll start with Callie Rose. What did you make of that last start effort down south? Back in trip today.
Her 2 runs previous to that were really good, and then she just ran on a really wet track. It was very testing. She hated that. Given her a little freshen up, got her home. She's only been home for, just on a week actually. So it'll be interesting. She's drawn good. Craig Rule's in the saddle. She'll jump. She'll put herself there. We're getting her back to the races pretty quick, but she does seem bright. We just give her one little breeze up the straight on Monday, and she does seem bright enough, so certainly can improve on a better track.
El Rose, there you've got the wide draw, a win 2 starts ago. What did you take away from that last start effort?
I just wonder if she's a horse that doesn't really like to be she always goes good when she's got a little bit of room to move. Last start, she drew inside. She sort of got back on the rail, horses all around her, and she didn't really let down in the straight. I've really liked the way she's going. The wide-ish draw doesn't worry me too much. We just let find her feet. They can swoop at Rotorua, and she can probably be one that can bounce back to form pretty sharply.
And finally, Sophistical, another who's third up, a tough run at the latest. What can we expect tomorrow?
She's drawn the car park. But I just think we've been riding her probably a little bit wrong. We've been trying to stoke her out of the gates and sort of just riding her upside down. Danielle sticks with the ship here. She's drawn out. She'll be let find her feet, but I think she's a pretty good mare, I reckon, and she can definitely bounce right back to form. I thought if she just gets the right run, ridden off the speed, she'll be hitting the line as good as any.
Well, Stephen, just to surmise all of those runners, do you have a best for us or a horse that you think's most likely to win tomorrow at Rotorua?
It's one of those days I'll be wrapped just for one winner. I think those 3-year-olds and those maiden 1560s, they should all go really well. I'm not necessarily saying they'll win, but maybe a horse like Sophistical, if she gets the breaks, I think she's the big improver.
Awesome stuff. Well, thanks so much for your time, Stephen, and best of luck tomorrow there at the races.
Thanks, Emily. Cheers.
Matt Cameron, welcome to the form and looking forward to Rotorua tomorrow afternoon. Go through your runners in racebook order, and race number 1, you've got Do the Maths. Recent races have been over the shorter distances. Today or tomorrow will be your first try past the 1600 on this one.
Yeah, I think it just did a bit of tough last time, was caught wide and stuck on really well. I think Bridget rode it last time and she said, it was a good solid run. And I was on another one, but it was scratched. So lucky enough to pick this up, and a little bit of rain around at the moment too, which is good. So it might just give a bit of easing in that track and help the horse out a lot.
Race number 2 is Sense of Style in the maiden 3-year-old. Are you taking over from Sam Weatherly for this one, who rode it at its latest? Big improver at that second race day start, went 4th on the synthetic.
Yeah, it was good. Obviously reading and looking at its form, I think back on the turf will probably help it, and it's got a nice draw, and it should get a nice run. And he doesn't normally bring the horse to the races if they're not close to winning, and the strike rate's pretty good there too. So I'm looking forward to riding that one.
You also get the addition of the side winkers, and they can often help, can't they?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of these horses these tracks are changing pretty quickly. They're getting firmer and faster. So, you add a little bit of gear every now and then, and it definitely helps some of them. And, it's had enough starts now to pretty handle that and move up a level. So hopefully that's the case.
Race number 5, Calvetto in the maiden 1560. A first ride on this horse for you, but wasn't beaten too far over the 1400 at that latest outing. So up to the 1560 does look perfect.
Yeah, looking at its form, it's, on the turf as well. And Marshy's team's flying at the moment too, so I'm happy to get on one of his horses at the moment. And like I say, it's a nice enough draw and should get a nice run and improve his run from last time.
Race number 6 is Ice Out. Looks like a nice stayer in the making, starting the career at 1560, and those trials at the 1300 meters, they looked pretty tidy.
Yeah, I was talking to Sean Ritchie the other day, and he said can be a bit lazy. Obviously, first up over 1560, so obviously needs a bit of a Matt Cameron push along. So I think that's what Sean was pretty keen on getting. So nice enough. Had those trials under the belt, should be fit and ready to go.
Race number 7, Spirit of Baz for the Baker Forsman team. Resuming run back in September was okay, and you've ridden this horse at the trial since. What did you make of that trial?
Yeah, it was good. Like she had a bit of a setback in between her first up run and today's run. So she's a mare who's, she's a bit up and down. She has her quirks, and she is a day by day kind of horse. But Andrew Murray thinks she's right. Her trial was super, even though it was on the synthetic, where it's probably just a little bit quick for her. So on the turf, on the grass, she should be a lot better for it. And if she can bring some of that form earlier on back, should be a winning hope for sure.
She's got a nice light weight as well, with just the 54.5 kilos.
Yeah, that definitely helps. It's a big enough field, and it's definitely help for those mares that need that bit of allowance. And like I say, if she's half ready and close to that form, like I said earlier, she should be hard to beat.
Race 8 is Quasi Girl, or another tricky draw with this one. Where would you like to settle in running?
Yeah, she's a funny little thing. Like she's always thereabouts. She's been on the synthetic a couple of times, and it's probably just a little bit fast for her. But like I say, there wasn't really many other race meetings for her, and so that was the options to go there. But back on the turf, she should be better for it. She's experienced now. She's been there, done that, a few starts. Like I say, she's fit. She's ready to go. If I can kind of punch her out and put her in the race, and she is quite lazy. So if I can get her handy enough and keep her on the job, then she'll be right there in the finish.
She hasn't been beaten far either lately. Performs probably a little bit better than you look at the page.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, like I say, she's been everywhere but in front at the winning post. But yeah, she's fit. She's ready to go. If we can put her in the race and get stuck into her, we should be right.
If you had to single out a best for us tomorrow at Rotorua, what would it be?
I like Spirited Baz. If she does everything right, gets a nice run, and she's quirky. If she's nice and settled and does everything right, then I think should be my top chance.
Awesome stuff. Well, Matt, good luck there at Rotorua, and hopefully Spirited Baz can do the job for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily.
Andrew Scott, a very warm welcome to the form. Great to have you on the show as always. Rotorua tomorrow, you've got a number of runners, and I thought we could go through them in racebook order. Let's start with the first of the day, Tumbarumba. Been running reasonably well of late without a stack of luck. You'll be hoping to turn that around, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely, Emily. Look, he's actually been running quite well. He ran on a Premier Day 2 starts ago, and he sort of raced in the front half of the field, which was sort of the back half of the field race where they sort of got over the top of him. And last start, he didn't get all favours first attempt over ground, and he sort of got pushed back at a bad time. And then actually his last 200 metres was the quickest of the race, and he's got a hood on, noseband on, and we're just thinking a wee bit of gear there will certainly enhance his chance. So second attempt over ground is going to certainly aid him with a bit of fitness, and he's going really well, and he's certainly one of our better chances of the day.
Race number 2, Nova Show, is quite an interesting horse to have a chat to you about. Resumed back on the 23rd of October. There was a few notes in the steward's report that day. What can you tell us about the run?
Yeah, well, look, we're naturally pretty disappointed. We decided to go back on that day from a wide gate, and we're just wondering if she sort of just over-raced and choked down and never let go, and consequently just ran miles below her best. But certainly since then, we've put a tongue tie on her to aid that. She's an incredibly good track worker, and her work's been nothing but that over the last couple of weeks. She hasn't been aided with the best draw there, but we've just got to hope that she can get a nice run somewhere. And by the way she's trained and the way she looks, she's going to race really competitively. So whereas a filly that we've always thought that's going to get through the grades through the spring, but we've had 1 or 2 little hiccups, but she's pretty spot on tomorrow. If she can overcome the draw, she'll run really well.
I've noticed that you've nominated her and scratched her, and you must be just waiting for the right conditions, and you feel you're getting that at Rotorua?
Yeah, absolutely, Emily. Like, she's had she's been aided, she's had 1 or 2 bad draws and, off tracks and this and that. And we just wanted everything to be 100% with her sort of leading into her next run when we got it so wrong first up. So whilst the draw is not ideal, they can come from anywhere around Rotorua a wee bit. So we'll be reasonably positive from the draw. And, she's got a wee bit of fitness on her side now to do it at both ends a wee bit. So hopefully she runs up to her work and runs really well.
Race number 3, you've got a couple of horses on debut in Atlantic City and Raconteurs. I thought we'd start with Atlantic City. What can you tell us about this gelding and his trials?
Yeah, look, he's trialled well without getting too carried away. He's a beautiful big horse by Swiss Ace, and look, he's a learner tomorrow from a wideish gate. Look, he's horse possibly can follow beyond tomorrow with a good bit of confidence over the summer months, because he's a big robust horse. He's going to take a bit of racing through the summer, and he's only going to get better with more experience. But from that sticky draw, he might be a bit of a watch tomorrow. And Raconteur, well, she's a filly that's coming into the race without a trial sort of close up. But her work on Saturday was encouraging. She worked in a manner to suggest she's going to have a good prep. She's a bit of a learner tomorrow, and she'll take great bit of benefit, experience, and fitness with the run. And she's another one. Once she gets over the 1,400 metres a mile, she'll start to accelerate.
Race number 4, Rockspell is your chance in this one. You're in a second up state. So what did you make of that first up run? Because it was a long time since we'd seen this horse racing.
That's right, Emily. Yeah, he'd been away for a wee bit. He had a fair hiccup after his 3-year-old year, and David and Diane were incredibly patient with him and gave him all the time to make a full recovery. And then he had a beautiful trial down there at Taupo where he trialled well. And then he drew out a wee bit round Tiara, got caught 3 deep, and then he had to make his run wide and momentarily looked like he was going to get on by. And then he's probably peaked on his run. He's a 4-year-old stallion that's probably going to take a bit of racing. And there'll be further improvement in post tomorrow. But look, he's another one that's worked really well on Saturday morning there. Another one that hasn't got the greatest draw, but he's got a wee bit of class there, and we're hoping with the benefit of the run under his belt, he's going to run really well there tomorrow. So he's another really good chance. But post tomorrow, he's even going to improve, and once he gets a draw, he gets out to 1,400 metres, he's going to have a good summer.
Just talk me through the noseband going on in the tongue tie. You think that'll help him?
Yeah, just when we were settling him up at Tiara, he had a sort of tongue jam back in his mouth there, and even Sam said his breathing wasn't really flowing and even there at Tiara. So we just put a little noseband on there just to even when he was going to the start, he had his mouth wide open. So little things like that, the 1%ers can often make a difference, as you know.
Yeah, for sure. Race number 5 is Tuscan Holiday. 1 start for a 6th. How's he come through the run?
Yeah, come through it really well. Only improved with it. First one was a beauty. That day, it's just another one which didn't draw so well, and we had to ride him, quite conservative through the first quarter, and he ended up getting a long way back in a sticky spot, and he hit the line really strong. I think his sectionals were really good that day. So he's bred to run a wee bit further on the Dan side, so we've got him out over a mile now, or 1560, and he's one who'll really quicken home well tomorrow. His work on Saturday indicated that he's gone the right way. He's a good, robust, tough horse, eats on and really sound, and from a decent draw tomorrow, hopefully we can just ride him a little bit more aggressive, and he's probably our best each way chance of the day.
And then finally, race number 6 is Ozark, another who just started the career at 1 start for an 8th. What were your thoughts on that effort?
Yeah, really pleasing performance. Look, he's a beautiful big staying horse by Tarzino that's going to take a bit of making, and once he gets around 2 corners and 2,000 metres, he's going to really come into his own, and he's still a learner tomorrow. Look, he's another one that's drawn out a wee bit there with Cosiasano. We won't be rushing him early. It's a bit of a tricky start there on the corner. He's going to end up getting a long way back, but he'll certainly be putting some big strides in late, and he'll improve with the experience of tomorrow's run. He's also, we don't want to sort of put too much pressure on early, because we're hoping he'll get out over the summer months, over the 2,000 metres and beyond against his own age. And yeah, he's a horse certainly to keep an eye on. He's handling his preparation well physically and mentally, and we think he's a really promising horse as a staying horse. But maybe tomorrow it's just it might all happen a bit too soon for him, but we're hoping in January and beyond he's going to crack on.
And I notice he's got a Derby nomination as well. Would that sort of be the tentative plan if he does handle that 3-year-old racing over the 2,000?
Yeah, look, he's a lovely big staying horse that's going to get better with time and experience and fitness, and he's got this right sort of constitution to hopefully hold on and withstand a long preparation. So yeah, look, it's early doors, but he's a promising staying horse. So hopefully he can get through a fair way at least. But no, hopefully the team will have a good day tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully they do. Put you on the spot and ask you what you think your best of the day is, Andrew.
Yeah, Emily, probably our best chance, has probably got the best draw is Tuscan Holiday, and he's gone the right way since his debut. So hopefully he races really well.
Awesome stuff. Well, thanks for your time, Andrew, and best of luck tomorrow at Rotorua.
Most welcome. All of you.
Brendan Popperwell, great to have you on the phone this morning. We've got Rotorua to look forward to, of course, tomorrow. 10 races scheduled. Nice busy day with a number of horses stepping out for the first time. Looking forward to seeing what it produces.
Yeah, hi Emily. It's certainly an interesting day. A number of new horses once again, very similar to last week as we start to see this new wave of sort of first starters as we move towards that summer and Christmas busy period. So yeah, hopefully there's a few winners to be found.
Let's have a little look at 3 of the races on the card that you've identified. We'll start with race number 4. And what do you like about this one?
Yeah, a maiden race over 1,230 metres, Emily, and I thought there was a couple of key runners to identify in this race. First of all, a runner that has been to the races by the name of the Stony One. Now, this is a 3-year-old son of Piero that did race at Rotorua last time out and finished off nicely into 3rd position behind Laneway Flirting. Thought it was a really good run from a horse who drew awkwardly on that occasion and does draw better on Wednesday. So if he can get the right sort of run in the race, he got back and he was booming home. He looks to be a strong chance. And I'm also interested in the first starter out of the Tony Pike barn in Shining Peak. This is a horse, 3-year-old filly by Tumi Loose, who's trialled up nicely, really built momentum into the trial to take over halfway down the straight. And I like how she's done it on that occasion. She won by a short margin, but it looked like she had a fair bit in reserve. So keen on those 2 horses. And also Le Chamazier, number 7, a horse that has had 2 good runs back this preparation for Graham Richardson and Rogan Norvale. So yeah, they catch my eye on race number 4, Emily.
And race number 5 is another race you've identified, the maiden over the 1,560 metres, and a number of horses up in distance in this one.
Yeah, there is. And look, horses like It Sweet will be better with more distance. But I also believe Tuscan Holiday also. Now, I really do like this horse's chances. Keen to have something on him. In fact, I thought his run last time out in a race where it looked on, it was dominated on speed for those that were 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the race. They were all close to the tempo. This is a runner that's got back. He was held up at the wrong time. He had to come across heels, and he was really strong through the line. He's run the fastest last 8, 6, 4 and 2 in the race. He gets more distance and he has a better draw this afternoon with Craig Grills retaining the ride. I thought he looked to be a bet in the race, Eagle Tarzan, Tuscan Holiday, running number 7 out of the Wexford stables.
Great stuff. And the final race to have a little look at is race number 9. And Brendan, I understand you've identified in your best bet in this race too.
Yeah, look, and it's a hard race to make the best bet in because I do like a couple of others in the race, but I really was keen with what I saw from We Will Rock. Now, this is a horse that is a 3-year-old gelded son of Al Rocker who won at the Topol meeting back on the 6th of October, but boy, he rated strongly with what he's done out of that race and how the race stands up itself. So he was a strong winner from a wide barrier draw, and he won by a really good margin. Figures have backed it up also, and then the form out of the race has been super strong. The second horse, Sassy Merlot's won since. Third horse, La Bella Beals, has won twice. Fourth horse, Safiro Bell's won a maiden. Fifth horse was Kenny Man, who missed by the barest of margins in a maiden race. Sixth horse, Justice Skirt, has been 4th and 3rd since, and the 7th horse, in Aodi, has been placed since then as well. A high form race, and this horse does have to step up, yes, to the next grade, and that is always the question mark for those maiden winners, but I just feel as though he looks to be a horse who can work his way through the grades. His biggest danger will be Drum Major, of course, a runner that was placed in the Hawke's Bay Guineas only 2 starts ago behind Mananui, and Bailey Rogerson takes the ride with a good draw and 3 kilos coming off the back. But yeah, I was happy to mark We Will Rock, and look, he should still be at a reasonable price too, and as I said, what looks to be a competitive 65.
Awesome stuff. You've convinced me. I like that. Value best bet there for Brendan Popperwell. Brendan, awesome. Thanks for your time, and looking forward to catching up with you, and enjoy that Rotorua meeting.
Nice one. Thanks, Emily.
A big thank you to all of our guests on the form this morning. That concludes our interviews for today. Now let's have a recap of what they identified as their best bets. Stephen Marsh goes with race number 9, Sophistical. Matt Cameron has identified race 7, Spirit of Baz. Andrew Scott, race 5, Tuscan Holiday. And Brendan Popperwell, also race 9, but he's gone with We Will Rock. Well, that's it from us here on the Form this morning. Aidan Rodley will be back for Thursday's edition as we get into New Plymouth Gallops. We've also got the Cambridge Harness and Greyhounds, as well as the Addington Greyhounds from down south as well. All of that to come. We look forward to joining you tomorrow.